All right, well, welcome. So Ken and I were pre-chatting for the class today, and he has asked me about toilets. Okay, bathrooms. Differences between the words. And so what I was saying is basically in the United States, a bathroom is where you go to the bathroom. However, in England, I know I've heard something that they have a toilet room. And the bathroom is where the bath is. And a bath is where you lay down, you might have a bath, or you can stand up and have a shower. And so I've heard that's the main difference between a bathroom and a toilet. Now, saying where's the toilet or asking where's the toilet in the United States is a little bit like, ugh, because you're thinking about, like I told Ken, where you do your business. A thing you really want to think about. So to me, it sounds a little bit like, but that's because of where I grew up. All right, so if you go to the UK, I have no idea about Australia. Sorry, I don't know. So that's kind of the difference. And also for me, restrooms is perfectly fine. Restrooms, you'd normally say like a restaurant, so it's not, hey, where's the bathroom? Again, that's kind of like that. Bathrooms really normally aren't the cleanliest places. So you kind of, get disgusted by talking about it. So we say restroom. Also, WC, I think, is very, I don't want to say British, but from the UK, which in my opinion means wash closet, which is where you would wash. I've also heard of something else, wash something. There's a washroom, I think is more, I want to say old-fashioned. To me, it sounds old-fashioned. I would never say, hey, where's the washroom? Ever. Ken, any other questions or anything I missed from our pre-conversation?
So maybe in America, restroom is the most common.
Yeah, I think it's the most polite.
Polite, okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in a home or something and you've never been there before, yes, then you would have to say, I'm sorry, can you tell me where the restroom is? Again, it's more formal, but it's also more polite.
Okay.
And Ken, would you like to explain to me what you say in Japanese and maybe why?
Same as British, because traditionally Japanese bathroom and toilet room are separated to different rooms. So we call toilet for toilet and bathroom is bathroom in Japanese. So also washlet is pretty common here.
What's a washlet?
It's a device for clean up. Maybe you can easily find out on the YouTube. I think, yeah, that's a very Japanese thing, and many foreigners feel very curious about that when they come to Japan.
A washlet. Yeah,
maybe it happened 80s or something. After that, it became popular very quickly. Now 70% toilet became washlet here.
Okay, I'm just gonna look this up. Nope, okay, word reference doesn't want to tell me what that means. Is it for washing your hands?
No.
Or is it?
Not that part, but yeah. Kind of washing machine. Yes. Can link.
Let me check this out here. I'm just going to see if I can find something on your washlet. I've never heard of a washlet in my entire life. Washlet.
Popular only in Japan, yes.
So. Wash. Oh wait, I spelled it wrong. And is that the toilet that? Washlet is a special kind of toilet that you use, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, this is going to sound extremely naive and ignorant probably, but when I've gone to sushi restaurants, they've had really nice toilets that heat up and they can wash you.
Yes, that's good. Yes.
Okay, so it's like a toilet and a bidet together. And actually, a couple weekends ago, I was with some friends of mine, they're English, And I said a bidet, and she said, you mean a bidet? And so that's a different pronunciation word altogether, bidet. And that's what I actually have one in my apartment. It's extremely common here in Spain to have a bidet. I'm going to copy, open in a new tab. So we are definitely learning some. Yeah. Interesting. And actually, well, if we're talking about being clean and cleansiness and cleaning things, I don't know, today kind of works out. It's kind of a strange conversation to have, but hey,
Yeah.
culture. It's culture class. A bidet. Bidets are actually a lot more, they're cleaner than actually using toilet paper, what I've seen. I actually posted a video, let's see, back in July. I remember this because I was on vacation and I remember where I was. So back in July, I had shared a video about or water of some sort versus using toilet paper. It is a lot cleaner for your body and obviously saves trees. So fantastic. Any other comments, Ken, about toilets, water, cleaning, anything like that?
No, yeah, that's it. Thank you.
My water came from the sink, not the toilet, not the toilet. Just to make that clear, everybody. So welcome to class today. We're going to be talking about cleaning. I should say more housework than anything. So what I've done is I've put together a list of a lot of different things that I could think of with cleaning. And so basically what I'm going to do is go ahead and share this with you in just a second here. Housework verbs is exactly what I'm looking for. Good. Oops, and it looks like I'll make this a tiny bit bigger. Wait a second. Housework. There. That looks pretty good. Okay, so actually the title of this is Clean Up, Everybody Clean Up. This actually comes from a song from when you're like 3 to 5 or 6 years old. So it's kind of like a fun thing. So everyone cleans up or picks up their toys or puts things away if needed. And so I just thought it was a little bit of little. All right. So again, what I've done here is divided these verbs, phrases, whatever you want to call them today, into rooms. Okay, in the house. Obviously, there are going to be repeats. However, for example, as we see in the kitchen here, I'll just read a couple of these. The kitchen, for example, do the dishes or do the washing up. Do the dishes is American. Do the washing up is British English. Okay, some people like to refer to British English as European English. I don't have a problem using either, but British English is obviously more common. And then, actually, I should have put these in order. Then after while you're doing the dishes or washing, do or wash. Oops, the dishes. Okay. You actually rinse the dishes. Can you explain what rinse means, Ken?
Rinse means to get rid of detergent.
Exactly. And I'm trying to think. Detergent is actually more specific for the laundry machine, for the washing machine, whatever you want to call it. Hand soap is what you use to wash your hands. Dish soap. Wow. Rinse dish. Dish soap. All right. So lots of good vocabulary. My head is going to hurt after the class today, I'm sure. Because, there's little things in your life in which you don't realize how specific they are until you have to teach them. And today is probably going to be one of those days. So again, and then after you rinse the dishes, you put them in probably a drying rack. Why is this telling me it's wrong? Okay, dish soap is 2 words. All right. And then we dry the dishes. And we can either put them in a drying rack, or you can dry them with a towel. And there's a specific dish towel for that. So more dish towel. Okay. So again, lots and lots and lots of vocabulary here. Ken, can you tell me where the water comes out of to wash the dishes?
Water tap.
And I'm going to put that in here as well. I don't know where. Do the dishes. Tap. Faucet is also something that I would personally use. Faucet. Okay. Faucet is the American way of doing that. Tap to me is not tap. No, I don't. I wouldn't use that personally. So, all right. So that's good. Let's see. Dry the dishes, rinse the dishes, start the dishwasher. What is the dishwasher?
Dishwasher is a machine to do dishes, also dry, maybe rinse, and then dry the dishes.
Yeah, normally it does kind of the whole everything, right?
Right.
I unfortunately don't have the actual dishwasher machine. I am the dishwasher, and my husband is too sometimes. So one day it'd be nice to have a dishwasher, but not yet.
No.
So, which is fine. Let's see. And then we have to put away the dishes. What is put away the dishes?
Maybe the put the dish return to return to the dish in a not closet. I forgot the word.
Cupboard.
Yeah, cupboard. Cupboard.
The P we actually don't pronounce. It's a crazy word. Cupboard.
Cupboard. Yeah.
Good. Yep. So we do put them in the cupboard, or we put them on a shelf, or depending on what our kitchen has. So that's to put them away. You can do that after you dry the dishes by hand, or you let them dry in the drying rack, or you wash them in the dishwasher. So that's good. Now I was trying to think of other kind of phrasal verbs that we could use, and this one came to mind. Clean out. So clean out something. All right. And I have the fridge or the freezer, because the fridge, obviously, we always find some spoiled or expired food. And also in the freezer, sometimes we have to clean out all of that ice that's there because it builds up and we have to make some more room. So, good. And spoiled and expired food, Ken, can you explain that to everybody? Well,
kind
to
of
me, really.
rotten food. Also, expired food sometimes eatable, but usually, yeah, maybe kind of it's risky for
For your health.
Yeah.
Yes, that word is pronounced edible. It's one of those that changes, unfortunately. But yes, it's that you can eat it. But yeah, and my husband's always like, "Oh no, it's expired. We can't eat this." I'm like, "When did it expire?" Yesterday. And I'm like, okay, if you think about it, one day isn't the end of the world. So you do have to be careful, obviously, of what it is. You have to look at the package, make sure, it's still okay. I had bought turkey one time and it expired like one day, and I opened it up that same day it expired, and it smelled absolutely terrible. Do not eat that. That went straight to the trash. That was absolutely disgusting. I can still smell it, unfortunately. So, you know what? Be careful. All right, and also we throw out the trash, garbage, and rubbish. What is the difference or similarities, Ken, of these three words? Trash, garbage, rubbish.
I think garbage is used more in the United States, and rubbish is more used in Britain.
And what about trash?
Trash, I don't know. Neutral? I don't know.
Good question. I don't know. Trash, I believe you're absolutely right with garbage and rubbish. Garbage is way more American. Rubbish is absolutely more British. And trash, I believe, is becoming relatively familiar in England or in the UK, as far as I'm concerned. Trash and garbage to me is absolutely the same.
Right.
And rubbish is just crazy. I don't say that.
Okay.
Okay. So instead of just throw out, oh, okay, good. Another question here, Ken. I'm glad that you lived in the United States, and I'm glad that we get to challenge you today. So we have throw out here, but then here I have take out. What's the difference between throw out and take out?
I think to throw out means to dump.
Okay, I like the word dump, but where? Where are
Dump
you?
to dump to the trash bin.
Okay, and take out?
Take out, I think. Nowadays, for example, in my city's case, we need to burn the garbage in the garden, so we need to bring the garbage back, buy the garbage bag, and we need to bring the garbage back to the point to collect garbage. Such things.
Okay, well, my explanation is a little bit, well, I'm going to use less words. Take out is when you physically take the garbage out of your house and put it in the bin or the garbage can in American. And throw out is just when you put something that's trash or garbage or rubbish in the trash bin or the trash can inside the house. Right, it's basically inside and outside. So you throw out the garbage and then you take it out physically from your house.
Right.
Okay, so can you think of any other ones? I mean, think about your daily routine. What do you do? And all in the kitchen. As far as housework is concerned, because obviously cooking is something completely different.
Wipe the table.
Okay, wipe the table. That's good. And I'm trying to think. Let me wipe the table. Okay.
And here, some family, cook rice in a rice cooker every day.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know that's relatively, I don't want to say common, but I know it's kind of like this upcoming new trend in the United States because sushi's such a big hit, like, or at least it was a couple years ago. So, and everyone was like getting at this rice cooker, and I'm like, well, okay. I don't live there, so I don't have one, but I do have a machine that does make rice perfectly because I could never make rice very well. It always turned out terrible. Don't ask me how or why. So, wipe the table's good. Housework, actually, we can say, oops, set or lay the table, and I'll move this in a second. Table. Do you understand what that means? Set or lay the table.
Maybe put the dish on the table. Such thing.
Yes, so it's taking the dishes, the silverware, or cutlery, and everything, the cups, putting everything on the table to prepare yourselves to eat. We can also polish silverware. I use silverware, cutlery. Silverware is more common in the United States, but as far as I'm concerned, some Irish friends many years told me that cutlery was more common to them and silverware was more formal. And to me, it's the opposite. So that's another difference. You polish that maybe if you're having a nice dinner, you're having friends over, or unless you're just extremely picky, because I don't care if there's water spots on my silverware when I eat. So there's that. You can also polish glasses. You can polish silver, obviously. Anything else that you can think about, Ken?
Other thing, I tend to rely on microwave every day.
So you can clean out or wipe the microwave. So we've seen those already.
Just cook. Using the microwave.
Just using the microwave. Perfect. So that's good. All right, perfect. Well, I think we're good for the kitchen. Pretty much exhausted it. See, and look, I have bathroom here. So I have scrub the toilet. And then there's, what's that called? Toilet cleaner, probably. Toilet cleaner is what we would use. And then we have wipe the mirror or wipe down the mirror. And we use glass cleaner here. Okay. And then we clean the floor. Obviously, I would say with floor cleaner, it's just a generic, general floor cleaner there. Is there anything else that you can think of that we do to clean or to do housework?
In the bathroom.
Yeah.
Sometimes bathroom, especially the bath, the shower, and the toilet are in the same room. I forgot the English word. Some, not the germ, but
Bacteria?
yeah, similar to bacteria. Fungus.
Okay.
Fungus, covers the wall, so we need to get our floor, so we need to get out of that.
So antifungal cleaner, maybe might be it. Antifungus. I don't know which one it is, but I think fungal would work better, as it's an adjective. So yes, that's true. I was thinking of one before. What was it? Clean the floor. Housework. What was it? Scrub. Do you have any other suggestions? I can't believe I can't remember what I was going to write.
Other thing.
Well, wash towels. That's what I was thinking actually, but I know it's not a super it's obvious, but it is a task that we have to do in the bathroom is to wash the towels and things like that. This is relatively basic, but replace toilet paper. Not everyone does that, and they should, for example. Not naming names, but replace the toilet paper when you don't have any more. That would be nice. And I think we're done in the bathroom. You would think there's more, and I can't really think of anything off the top of my head. So we'll go down to, move the word over, bedroom. Okay, so the basic things here. Ken, why don't you go ahead and read these for us, okay?
Make the bed, wash the sheet, blankets, clean, tidy the room, organize, put toys, shoes away.
Okay. So basically, these are the main things that I could think of in the bedroom as well. You always make your bed. And one of the problems with make your bed is remembering that we use the verb make and to not do. Okay, and make is more with your hands, something you produce. It doesn't always make sense, and in this case, I don't think it really does. But that's that. And then you can wash the sheets and the blankets. As you said, there's other words for blankets. I think in British English, they would say duvet. It's a very, very old-fashioned word in the United States, duvet. Quilt in the United States as well.
Does it mean sheet or blanket?
Blanket.
Blanket, okay.
Yeah, sheets are basically sheets. We don't have any other words for those as far as I'm concerned. So, but the other one's blankets. A quilt is thicker or heavier than a blanket. A blanket can be something very small. And a duvet, I think, is the same as a quilt. Basically, it's a heavier blanket. It's quite confusing. And clean and tidy the room. Clean your room, for example, we would use in American English. Tidy to me is more British English.
Yeah, I've never heard tidy the room, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it's new for me. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, I'm just thinking of one now as well. It's straighten up. Straighten up means to basically tidy or clean. Maybe you don't throw things away or things like that, but you just kind of organize the room a little bit more. Straighten up.
Okay. Straighten up.
Okay. We can also say organize, like you mentioned, and then also to put toys or shoes away, to put something away. Okay, with this phrasal verb, we put the subject in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Can you think of anything else, Ken, that we could do?
So straighten up or organize a room maybe might mean, to move the furniture in a organized way or something like that.
I wouldn't say furniture. I would say things. Maybe your bookshelf has stuff on it and they're not in any order. So to straighten up, or maybe you have a lot of things on your floor. Maybe there's magazines, dirty socks. I don't know. To straighten up would be to put those things in their spot. If it's dirty, put your clothes in the hamper, we say.
Hamper.
Put clothes in the hamper, or dirty clothes basket. Dirty clothes. I have to think about this. Dirty clothes basket. It's been such a long time since I have said these things, and so it's definitely a challenge for me. So good. Put clothes in the hamper, or put clothes away if they're clean, for example. Obviously, the hamper or dirty clothes basket is for when they're dirty. Any other questions? Comments, words, phrases?
Actually, I since I'm familiar with, put off the shoes, put off the shoes inside the house. So even in America,
you take off. You take shoes off.
Take my shoes off after I get back to my dormitory.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. So where the American people put the shoes away when they were sleeping on the bed?
In the closet.
A closet, I see. Okay.
Normally, yeah. Otherwise, a lot of people in the United States, actually, when you go into the house at first, because in the United States, a lot of people have carpet, okay? Carpet is not wooden floors, basically, and so, or they have big rugs or something, and so in order to not get those dirty, we take our shoes off at the door. And normally, it's either explained, it depends on the house, but normally, well, a lot of times, it depends, because honestly, I wouldn't have anyone take their shoes off in my house in the United States. But also, when you get home, you want to relax. So some people, maybe they change clothes, they obviously take off their shoes, maybe they put on slippers or house shoes, as they're also called, which I have on right now, and I love mine. So it just depends, but a lot of people do take their shoes off when they go into a house.
Yeah. Yes. Maybe my roommate wearing sandals inside the room. Yeah, I remember that.
Well, and here for me, I mean, I always went barefoot. I didn't wear shoes or slippers in the summer because obviously it's hot. And here it's like a big no-no. And so everyone here sees me, with no shoes on. They're like, oh my gosh, you're going to get sick. I'm like, I'm not going to get sick. It's hot outside.
The summertime, I always, don't wear slippers. Yes.
I know. It's like, why are you going to add something to your body when you're already hot? It doesn't make sense. So, for me, it's completely normal. And my husband's family looks at me like I'm crazy, because here it's like, oh no, you always have to have something on your feet. And also because they use tile on the floor. So it is different, but it's culture. And I think they just have to understand that I'm not from here. So... they have to be a little bit more understanding. So yeah, interesting. And I hate just wearing socks alone, and that's a personal problem. So moving on, why don't you go ahead, Ken, and read these verbs for us?
Okay. Vacuum, sweep the floor, mop the floor, dust.
Good. Questions?
What do you mean dust? In this case,
well, do you know what the noun dust is?
Yes.
Okay, this is the verb to get rid of that.
Oh, got it. I see.
Normally people carry around is called a feather duster. You know, it's feathers and a feather, I don't know, duster. Feather duster. And they, you know, move things on the shelves and they pick up all that, those little tiny pieces of dirt in the air that land places. And that's dust. And then so to get rid of that is to dust. Oh, I have to dust the house today, for example. When in reality, it should be like undust, because if you're going to dust the house, it kind of sounds like you're going to put the dust everywhere, when that's not the case.
That feather things to, how can I say that, maybe tap the dust. That's a feather duster, I think. Yes.
Yeah,
maybe
exactly. Good. Okay, well, what about sweep and mop? Okay, can you tell me the difference between those two? Sweep and mop.
Sweep is maybe by using I forgot the word, the which light on that equipment. Basically, it's dry, but the mop is sometimes not dry or chemical nowadays.
Exactly. Yes, and to mop the floor, you use a mop. And you're exactly right. When you sweep the floor, it's dry. And then when you mop, it's wet and you use soap. Or the floor cleaner, whatever you want. Okay. So good. That's pretty simple. And vacuum. Vacuum, I believe, is the only word in English in which has a W, and I have no W. Oh, I just said that letter. W. That has two U's together. I'm pretty sure it's the only word in the English language. And again, I don't know why. It might be from where it's from, the history or something of the word. Interesting. We might have to look that up someday. And this is basically you use a machine to pick up all of the dust, the dirt, everything.
Yeah.
Are vacuums very common?
I think so, yes.
In Japan they are?
Yeah, and pretty common. And but I don't like it actually.
Really?
Because every time I vacuum a room, I would sneeze. Maybe, you know, a lot of dust, you know, releasing backside of vacuum cleaner. That's a problem.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, well, I'm allergic to dust mites, and so I always have a problem cleaning when it's allergy season. And so I've looked this up, and the word vacuum actually comes from Latin vaccus, if I'm going to say that correctly or not, VACUUS, which means empty. So I think we've all learned a little bit today, so that's fantastic. So VACCUS, vaccus, which means empty. Okay. Cool. Well, we've learned something new today. Very good. Moving on. So now I have non-room specific, just because, I mean, honestly, vacuum, dust, mop could be in this category as well, but I didn't want to repeat all of them because it's a little bit redundant. So, Ken, why don't you go ahead and you can read these words for us and the phrases and sentences, etc.
Okay. Do the washing, do the laundry, hang up the clothes to dry in your closet, fold the clothes, put the clothes away, iron the clothes. Clothes, I am not sure. This clothes or clothes? Clothes. Clothes. Do chores, run errands, do housework.
Good. And what I just want to mention is clothes. Clothes. It basically sounds the same as this word clothes.
Clothes. Clothes.
Again, I don't know why, because obviously these words are two different ones. Close, the one in between the lines, means to close something. It's a verb, and the other one is the actual noun, clothes. So a little bit confusing, but that is the pronunciation. So let's take a look at this. Do the washing. Well, what happened before? We said do the washing up. All right, so that one little tiny preposition up changes everything. So if you say I'm going to do the washing, you're talking about laundry, you're talking about washing your clothes. And if you say do the washing up, you're talking about the dishes. And those both are used in England more so than in England. In the UK, more so than the United States. I would never say do the washing. My dad does, I think. So,
I see.
so maybe it's just a little bit older, from the older period of time. So we have that. We also have hang up the clothes to dry. Okay, so maybe they just got out of the washing machine and you hang them up to dry, or you can put them in the dryer, which makes sense. After the clothes are dry, you hang up the clothes in your closet. Okay, so they're not to dry and in your closet are not synonyms. They're just completely two different things. Okay, with the same hang up, the same phrasal verb. Okay, what is fold the clothes?
How can I say fold the clothes to put the clothes in the closet.
Okay, yeah, to make the clothes maybe smaller in order to put the clothes away, which is our next part here. I don't know how I would say that either, to fold the clothes, but I'm sure if someone doesn't understand, they can find a dictionary or a translator to help them, because that is pretty difficult. So put the clothes away.
Put the clothes away. I think put the clothes away in the closet or such things.
Yep, that's exactly it. Put the clothes away in the closet, or maybe in let's say closet or dresser. Oops.
Dresser. Okay.
Yep, dresser or chest of drawers. We can say that one's chest of drawers. I don't use that, but that's possible as well. So that's good. What about iron? Iron the clothes.
Iron is to straighten up the clothes by using heat.
Because they have wrinkles.
Wrinkles, yes.
Exactly. And now the biggest challenge of today, or not, what are the differences between do chores, run errands, and do housework? There are very slight differences, and this actually came up in a different class of mine today. So what can you tell us, Ken?
I think run errands means maybe, go to the shop to buy something, such things.
Okay.
Maybe such things outside the house, maybe. And chores and housework, I think, is a work inside the house.
Okay, is there any difference between chores and housework?
Chores, I don't know. Domestic chores sounds like do washes or cleaning, such thing. That housework, maybe sometimes it includes fix the.
Are you looking this up, Ken? I can hear you typing. It's okay. We don't know. Okay, well, let me help you out here. Basically, do housework is to do things that need to be done in the house, which is what we've talked about. Do the laundry, do the dishes, clean the bathroom, clean the floor, etc. All of this is housework. Okay, now to do chores, in my mind, now this is in my opinion, this is not from a dictionary translator or anything. To do chores is when the parent tells a child to do housework.
Oh, really?
So as a child, I had chores. Every single day, I had to do something. If it was set the table, vacuum, do the dishes, things like that. All right. And so I rotated with my brothers, and every day we had to do chores. Sometimes you get paid for them, other times you don't, depending on your parents. So there's that. So do chores. And then Run errands, I do agree with you. That's outside your home. So when you have to go to the supermarket, you have to go to the post office. You need to buy, I don't know, something, maybe it's buy a gift for someone. Let's run errands. Any questions?
And how about if I say domestic chores?
I don't think you really need to say domestic. Chores in general are things that you have to do at home, and so it's basically redundant when you say that.
Oh, really? Okay, it's not a word in America.
No, domestic. No, I don't think so. Let me take a look and see chores to see what this is. Oh. All right, well, this actually translates everything into Spanish for me, which is fine. Chores also, it says a boring or tedious task. A tedious task means something that has a lot of detail, which it doesn't have to mean that. Or it says chore in home, which is what you have to do. I have to do chores Saturday morning, for example.
Okay.
Yeah. Household chores.
Household chores.
Get that down. Household chores. And household just means that things in the house. Household is a super difficult word to translate in any language. Even in Spanish, there's not really a good word. You have your household. I have to take care of the household, which is everything that goes on in the house. Yeah, it's a crazy difficult word to explain. So good luck. And there's that. So good. Any other questions with these 3 or 4 words now?
No.
Okay. Good. And the last thing I have here is just outside the house. I'm sorry, I'm not quite done. We have garden, which is to garden, which is to plant flowers or to plant crops, which are, like tomatoes, things like that. Right, so to garden is the verb. What about mow the lawn or the grass? Do you understand what that means?
Yes, especially in America, most garden is covered with grass, lawn, so they need to cut.
We call those yards.
Yard, yes, yards.
A garden to me is just where you have those plants or flowers. So that's another difference in between American and British English.
I see.
Okay. Then we also have rake the lawn. Rake. In fall or autumn, which is happening now, all of the leaves from the trees comes down, and we have to move those. And so we use a rake, which is the noun, and also the verb is basically it would be the equivalent to sweeping the floor inside the house, but raking the leaves, rake the lawn, rake the leaves, okay, to get all those out of there. Okay, the lawn in this case means grass, and that's why there was a line or a slash here, because lawn and grass are the same. Okay. And trim the trees, which means to it's like trimming your hair. You cut your hair a little bit. That's the same here with trim the trees. And then we have water the plants and flowers. To water in this case, it's a verb. Good. Any questions with this?
No.
With these? A little less common, right? Outside the house, garden, mow the lawn or grass, rake the leaves, trim the trees, and water. And now I want to look at some cleaning products that we have. Okay, so what's a sponge, or where do we use a sponge?
For doing dishes, we use sponge.
Yeah, could use a sponge for the bathroom as well.
Yeah, bathroom as well, yes.
Okay, what about a washcloth?
I think washcloths, sometimes cloth is used to do dishes, also to dry up the dishes, we use clothes. Is that it?
Actually, we use a dish towel to dry the dishes. A washcloth for me can be, yes, used in the sink to wash the dishes while there's soap and water and things like that. Also, washcloth could be when people wash their face in the morning and they take off the face wash with a washcloth. Talk about a tongue twister. So it's basically like a mini towel.
Okay.
Okay. We saw broom and mop just before with the verbs. Then we have a clean spray, and it depends on the surface just because, as we saw before, we have a lot of different types of spray. What about a duster or a dustpan?
Dustpan. To the equipment to get off the dust.
Exactly. So we don't have just the feather duster. We can have a duster in general. Maybe it's not made of feathers. Maybe it's a different material. And a dustpan is something we use maybe with actually a dustpan. Oh, it's coming to me in Spanish. I'm sorry. When you sweep the floor, you sweep it into a dustpan sometimes. I think that's like the old-fashioned word to say. I can't think of the word, a broom pan duster. I don't remember. So, welcome to my life. What are gloves?
Gloves is a glove. Sometimes people wear gloves on their hands while they are doing some houseworks to protect their hands.
Exactly. We also use gloves in the winter when it's cold. And yes, a dustpan is what I was thinking about with sweeping. I did look that up. What about a hose, Ken?
Hose is a kind of pipe to spread the water or something in the garden.
Exactly. A hose is what we would use to garden or to water the plants.
Right.
That's good. Oh, there is one more down there. I was just making sure. Okay. Detergent. Detergent is what we use in the dishwasher, the washing machine. As we said earlier, the other one is dish soap. So it's a little bit different. Then we have a vacuum, which is the verb as well. This is the actual machine. We use a vacuum to vacuum, basically. And a scrub brush. And I think that's the last one here. It is. So what is a scrub brush, Ken?
How can I tell? Brush to get rid of the scrub the surface of the pan or something like that.
Exactly. Let's use a little bit more force than just wash, I would say. So maybe you have some food stuck on a pan, you need to scrub that or leave it in water until it softens up. And then life will be a lot easier. So good. Perfect. Well, it is the time, and that's basically it for today. So let me stop screen sharing for the moment so I can say goodbye to everybody. So great. I mean, I think we started with a good conversation about toilets, and then we went on to talk about more housework and things we do at home. So good class. Any questions, Ken?
Oh, no. Thank you very much.
Good. Well, I'm sure some of this brought back some memories of the United States and everything. And for me, it was like, how do I say this in English? So, living in Spain for 6 years now has definitely challenged me sometimes with English. And that was one of the times. So it was quite a challenge to think about these things. But very, very good. And next time, actually, we are going to be talking about the pronunciation of the S in English.
Okay.
Because we have some different sounds for it, which is not, as we've seen in Fuzzy Wuzzy Was a Bear, the word was has a different sound of the S than snake, for example, or sugar. So I'm not going to release any other surprises. You'll have to wait till next class. All right. So I hope that you had a good class and that you've learned some new things today and hopefully can put them into practice.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
And you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.